Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel At Home with Chelle and to an autumnal what I eat in a day to lose weight whilst following Slimming World. So today I'll be sharing with you what I eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner to stay on plan whilst I'm following Slimming World. I know you guys love these videos, so hopefully you enjoyed this one. As always, I will write all of the ingredients for any of the meals that I make in the description box down below. And if you do make any of the food that I mentioned today, then please let me know. I'll include the thin values and the calories as well for any of the meals that I am making. Well, I really hope that you enjoy this video. Please give it a like if you do. And if you are new to my channel, then hi, my name's Michelle. I do upload quite a lot of foodie content and I'm following Slimming World, have been for quite a while now, although I have been a little bit bad recently, so definitely need to get back on the bandwagon. So would love for you to subscribe and join my journey. I just wanted to apologise for my voice as well. I actually have a chest infection at the moment and not feeling 100%, so yeah, I don't normally sound this husky. So I'll start off by sharing what I've had for breakfast. Breakfast is super easy today and definitely one of my go-tos, and it's just an omelette. I love omelettes because you can just put anything that you want in them and it keeps you really full, and then I don't end up using my healthy extra B on breakfast. So in my omelette today I'm just going to put in some mushrooms, a couple of tomatoes that I'll chop, some ham and then just some cheese, a couple of eggs. Honestly, such an easy breakfast. So I've just put a frying pan on a high heat, spritzed it with some fry light, and then I'm just going to add the mushrooms and the tomatoes and just fry that for around 5 minutes until the mushrooms soften. So I've only cooked that for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes and it's already done. So I've just whisked a couple of eggs with some salt and pepper, add that in, and then I've just diced the ham up as well. So, oh, hang on, let me just even this out. Scatter the ham around, and then I'll add the cheese as well. 30 grams of cheddar cheese here, which is part of my healthy extra A. You can obviously leave it out if you want, but in all honesty, who can have an omelette without cheese? I love it. So that's all I've used here. This is completely sin-free because I've just used my healthy extra A on the cheese. So I'll just leave that for a couple more minutes and it'll be ready. So after a couple of minutes, I'll normally just try and fold it in half. Oh, that did not work very well. Then it's pretty much ready to eat. So it's not the best or the prettiest looking omelette, but I bet it will taste amazing. Honestly, it doesn't look like much, but it tastes absolutely delicious. I don't know why, but the tomatoes add a really nice flavour to omelettes. I never used to do it, and then I always used to get omelettes when I was on holiday and they had tomatoes, and one day I thought I'd try it with tomatoes in, and now I always put tomatoes in because they just add, I don't know, they add a really nice flavour to the omelette. So I'm just about to make lunch now. Breakfast kept me full for quite a long while, and I did also have a bag of crisps. So I just had a bag of the beef hula hoop puffs. I believe they're around 3.5 cents. If I'm wrong, then please correct me in the comments down below. But now I'm going to make soup. Soup is one of my favourite lunches to make, especially going into the autumn when it's getting a bit colder. There's nothing nicer, and especially when I don't feel very well neither, there's nothing nicer than just tucking into a nice bowl of warm soup. So today I'm making a potato and leek soup. So you'll hardly need any ingredients to make the leek and potato soup. Obviously you'll need leeks, so I'm just going to use 2 leeks, 2 potatoes, 2 carrots, an onion, a couple of garlic cloves, and lastly a chicken stock cube or stock pot. You can use vegetable to make it completely vegetarian, but I'm making mine gluten-free, and these are gluten-free stock pots. So when I do the leeks, I just slice the ends off and then halve it lengthways like so. So just, I've already washed these as well, and then just basically cut them like this into little halves. Don't worry too much about how you're cutting it at all, it's only going into the soup. So start off by putting a large saucepan on a medium to high heat, spritz it with some fry light, and then you want to put in your chopped vegetables. So all I've done here is halved and chopped the leeks, the carrots, and then I've also finely diced an onion. Don't worry too much about how you're cutting it at all, because it's only going into the soup. Just throw all of that in there and then leave the lid off and leave that to simmer on leave that to fry on a medium heat for around 10 minutes until the leeks and onions all start to soften. So I've left that for around 10 minutes, and you can see that the vegetables have softened really nicely. So I'll just squeeze through the garlic clove and then just give that a stir through for about 30 seconds. And then it's time to add your stock. So next you want to add your stock. So basically I've just filled this jug with boiling water. So I'll add that in. Just add about another 500 ml of water. Bring that to the boil while you cut up your potatoes. So meanwhile, just cut your potatoes up into, I kind of do them into like small cubes. So just like so, and then you can start to add them to the soup. Once it's came to the boil, turn it down to a simmer and leave it for around 10 minutes until the potatoes are cooked. So I've just left that for about 10 minutes and tested one of the potatoes, which is cooked now. So you can either leave it like this if you like quite a chunky soup, but what I normally do is just remove about a cup and a half full, like half a jug of the vegetables, and then blitz it using a hand blender and then put the vegetables back in. And I just personally prefer the consistency of the soup that way. So I've just blended the soup to a smooth consistency, and then I'm just going to add the veg back in. So I just like to do this because then I feel like you get like a thicker soup, and then you get a little bit of chunkiness with the veggies that you add back in as well. And then at this point I'll just add a tiny bit of salt and pepper to season it. There we have it, a lovely warming potato and leek soup. So soup is honestly one of my favourite things to have for lunch. Like I said, especially when I don't feel that well. And this is one of my go-to soups. I've made this recipe hundreds of times and I'll always go back to it. It's really nice. So if I wasn't that hungry, I would just have this by itself. But today I'm going to have it with a wholemeal roll, which I've just put some butter on as well, so that will obviously need to be sinned. But yeah, I can't not have butter on my roll, so I'm more than happy to take the sin for that butter on the roll and then dipping it into the nice warm soup. It's just amazing. Honestly, definitely try this soup. It's so good as well, it makes loads. So what I've got left over, I'll just put in a container and then that will do me for lunches for the rest of the week. So So it's just gone 7 o'clock and I'm just about to make dinner now. I didn't really eat much this afternoon. Normally I would have something to eat in the afternoon as well, but I think because I'm not feeling that well, I wasn't really that tired. But I did just have a couple of fish sticks or seafood sticks, whatever you want to call them. If you are following Slimming World, honestly, they are such a great snack. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I honestly love them, and they're completely sin-free too. So yeah, Arabella's already had her dinner. She has her dinner at nursery. She's in bed now. We normally wait until she's gone to bed to make dinner. It's just Nick and I for dinner tonight, so it's just a meal for two, and we're having a one-pot pasta meal, which is basically how it sounds. It's a pasta meal all made in one dish, so saves in the washing up, and it's ready in like 10 minutes, so ideal. So this is everything you'll need to make this evening's meal. So again, hardly any ingredients, and what makes this so good and makes it able to cook in one pot is using fresh lasagna sheets for your pasta. These actually used to be sinned on Slimming World, and now they're free. I don't know when it changed, but they are, and honestly it's amazing now that these are free. The filled ones are still sinned, but the lasagna sheets themselves are, like I said, sin free, which is amazing. So I've just got, I think I've got about 6 sheets here. I normally do about 100 grams per person, and then I'll just slice those into like pasta. Then I'm going to use some, so I'm probably going to use half the pack of this. These are new, I haven't tried these before. So these are the meat and veg range from Tesco's. So they are the chicken chipolatas, but also with 30% vegetables in too. So I believe these are 1.5 sins for 2. I'm not 100%, so if anyone knows for sure, then do let me and everyone else know in the comments down below. So yeah, I'll probably use about half of them. I'll have 2, Nick will probably have 3 of them. A carton of passatta. I've just got some parsley as well. Probably put a teaspoon of fennel in. I'm not a huge fan of fennel, but I don't mind it in kind of pasta, tomato based dishes. A couple of garlic cloves and a splash of wine. So in here, I don't know, there's hardly any, is there? I don't know how many that is in mil, but yeah, a splash of wine in there, and that will, I'll just add an extra sin on for that as well. So in total this will be around 2 sins per person. Oh, and then obviously I completely forgot to say the Parmesan. You can leave this out if you want, but this is just to shave on top of your pasta afterwards. The first thing I'm going to do is to put a frying pan. So I've used quite a large frying pan, and then just spray that with some fry light as always. Then you want to get your sausages or whatever you're using and basically pull them out of their skins. So I normally just cut them down like that, and then the skin should peel away. I think because these are veggie, it's not working that well, to be honest. Right, that's not really working, so I'm just going to like literally just pull them into tiny little balls like so and fry them. But if you've got like pork sausages, you want to definitely make sure that you remove the skin, but yeah, like I said, I think because these have got the chicken veggie ones, they're okay. So just repeat that with all the sausages. I normally do 2 per person, but like I said, I'm doing 3 for Nick. Then I'm actually going to use the rest of these sausages for another meal that I'm making later on in the week. You just want to fry the sausages, not for long, literally just for a couple of minutes, until they start to brown on the sides. So after a couple of minutes, once they're brown, then I'm just going to add in the garlic that I've sliced, and then I've sliced the stalks of the parsley. So I just basically separated the stalks and the leaves on the parsley, and then I will add that. And then also, if you want to add the fennel, it's definitely worth trying to add the fennel. If you're not too sure, then I'll just add like around a teaspoon of it at this point as well. It's quite nice because it does actually smell quite nice, and it almost kind of starts to pop when you're cooking it. Just fried the garlic, fennel and parsley seeds for about a minute. Then you want to add in some wine, so just a splash of red wine, and just let that reduce down to cook away the alcohol. And that will probably take a couple of minutes. And meanwhile, I'm just going to cut the lasagna sheets into pasta. So to cut these sheets, I just do a couple at a time. Honestly, this is super easy. Just cut them, I don't know, however you want, around 1 centimetre thick, like so. You can obviously make it thinner or thicker, depending on how you like it, but I think about 1 centimetre thick works perfectly. So there you have it, all your pasta ready to go in. So literally 2 minutes and the red wine has completely evaporated. Now you want to pour in your passata. So I'll just use a carton of passata. This meal is actually really good just for if you're making it for one person as well. Obviously just half the quantities, but honestly it's such an easy supper if you're making, especially if you're making it just for one person. So just give that a little bit of a stir around. Then you want to add in your pasta. So just start to layer pasta into the saucepan and just stirring it through the sauce, like so. Don't worry, you will add some more water, so the pasta will cook in that, but just try and coat it with all of the tomato sauce first. Right, so that is everything in. And then what you want to do is just add some water to coat the pasta so it fully cooks. So I would add around 600 ml, so normally around 300 ml per person. Add that in, bring it up to the boil, and then leave that. Once it does boil, then turn it down to simmer and then leave it for around 5 minutes. This pasta hardly takes any time at all to cook. Left it for about 5 minutes, and then until most of the sauce is absorbed and you've got basically a nice thick saucy sauce a nice thick sauce coating the pasta, and then it's basically ready to dish up. So all I'm going to do now is just throw the parsley on top and it's ready. Stir through the parsley, and then I'm just going to season with some salt and pepper. And there we have it. It's now ready to dish up, and you can of course add Parmesan on top if you want to as well. So I'm just going to add some Parmesan to mine as well, just a little bit on top because I love it and why not. And then I've hardly used any of my healthy extra A anyway. I used some of it with the cheese earlier and then milk and coffee. So I've used my 2 healthy extra A's now, and I'm really looking forward to digging into this. I've made this dinner so many times, honestly, it is delicious. These pasta sheets lasagna sheets as pasta is a game changer. Really good. So I've just finished dinner, which was really nice, but I have to say, when I've used other sausages before, so previously I've used like skinny sausages, so more pork sausages, and personally I think it tasted a lot nicer using pork sausages than it did chicken sausages. I don't know if it's because they were chicken and vegetable, but yeah, the flavour of the actual sausages was nowhere near, I mean, how many times can I say sausages in a sentence? But the flavour of the chicken sausages was nowhere near as nice as pork sausages. So if you are making this, then I would probably use like the skinny pork sausages that you can get. After dinner this evening, I haven't had anything. I didn't really fancy anything, to be honest. So my treat for this evening is some Lemsip, well, Tesco own brand Lemsip, which I'm just going to have. And I can't believe it, these actually have a sin value too, which is very frustrating because there are definitely other things that I would rather use my sins on than, yeah.
Lemsip, but needs must, because I'm sure it will make me feel a little bit better too. So I have just sat and filled in my food diary. I've shared this on my channel loads of times before. I fill it in at the end of each day, just to keep me on plan and make me feel accountable. This just a little book like this. I got it from Amazon. I'll link it down below. I think it was only like £5. I'm actually on my 3rd one now as well. I do all my meal plans in here, everything. It's just literally the only thing that keeps me on track. I mentioned at the start of the video I've been quite bad recently. We've had a few weekends and, you know, meals out and things, so yeah, I haven't been that good at sticking to Slimming World. So in the week I make sure that I try really hard, and this food diary definitely helps. So I've just filled it in with everything. Today my total sins were 8, which is a pretty good day. I normally allow myself a maximum of 15, so if I wanted something else I could have it, but I think because I'm not feeling great, then I don't really want anything else anyway. So yeah, I've filled that in now, and then to be honest I'm going to drink my Lemsip and head off to bed because I am absolutely exhausted. And yeah, I apologise again for the state of me in this video and just how rough I sound, but you know, it's real life and this is a realistic YouTube what I eat in a day video, I suppose. So I hope it has been useful and you found the recipes useful. As always, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon when I have my voice back. Bye.